Reacher will be a lone wolf again in Season 3, says writer Lee Child. Reacher's second season just concluded in typically turkey-fisted fashion, with the big guy smashing all and sundry and riding off into the sunset on a Greyhound bus. While the season was well received, some fans lamented seeing Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher as part of a team so early in the series. Reacher is known for his travels across the country alone, terrifying small-town dwellers with his outrageous size, and it was felt that reuniting him with his 110th Special Investigations Unit so soon into the series' run was somewhat premature, as good as their chemistry was. However, the good news for those who would prefer to see the sentient brick wall back on solo duty is that the upcoming third season, already well into production, will see Reacher operating as a lone wolf again. Series author Lee Child, who has written the countless Jack Reacher novels upon which the television show is based, has confirmed in an interview with The Messenger that the plan is to take Reacher back to basics. While he didn't confirm which story was being adapted, Child confessed he thinks they've done a fine job of adapting the next novel. The first season was adapted from the first Reacher novel, Killing Floor, while Season 2 was based on Bad Luck and Trouble, revolving around Reacher and his family from the 110th, who find themselves under attack and being picked off one by one. Following that team effort, the big guy is back on the hunt. Prior to the release of the second season, when speaking with Collider's Christina Radish, Ritchson was playing coy on what book was being adapted, but he did state that there would be no combining of stories and that the season would be based on one of the favorites, adding that it would be one of the best seasons yet. Both seasons of Reacher are currently streaming on Prime Video. The nomadic, justice-seeking powerhouse, Jack Reacher, is set to return for a third season, and according to Lee Child, the creator of the iconic character, fans should prepare for a Reacher who is once again on his own, fully embodying the lone wolf persona that made him so beloved in the first place. As the third season of Reacher gears up for production, the hints dropped by Child have left fans buzzing with excitement, eagerly awaiting to see what form this next chapter will take. The notion of Reacher once more walking a solitary path, facing challenges alone, not only aligns with the character's core identity, but also signals a return to the stripped-down, no-nonsense action that defines his world. The lone wolf archetype. A Reacher staple from the moment Jack Reacher was introduced in Lee Child's 1997 novel Killing Floor, it was clear that he was cut from a different cloth. A former military police major, Reacher rejects societal norms, preferring to drift from town to town with nothing but the clothes on his back, a toothbrush in his pocket, and an unwavering sense of justice. He's not interested in forming long-term relationships, settling down, or playing by the rules of a conventional life. Instead, Reacher is a wandering vigilante, a man who operates on his own terms and relies on his instincts and brute strength to navigate the dangers he encounters. In many ways, Reacher is the embodiment of the classic lone wolf archetype. He's self-sufficient, independent, and emotionally guarded, yet driven by a strong moral code. This archetype has long been a staple in literature and cinema, from Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name to the likes of Mad Max and John Wick. What sets Reacher apart, though, is the distinct contrast between his towering, intimidating physical presence and the quiet, calculated way he approaches both conflict and survival. He's not a hot-headed action hero prone to explosive violence without thought. Instead, Reacher is a thinker, analyzing every situation before delivering a precise, often lethal response. In the upcoming season of Reacher, Lee Child has confirmed that fans will once again see the character in this familiar, solitary role. The decision to strip Reacher of the companions or alliances he may have forged in previous seasons feels like a natural continuation of his story. Reacher thrives on isolation. It's where he's most comfortable, most dangerous, and most true to himself. The evolution of Reacher on screen. The decision to center the third season around Reacher's lone wolf persona is a nod to the character's roots, and it also speaks to the way Reacher has been evolving in his transition from page to screen. The Amazon Prime series Reacher, based on Lee Child's books, took a big leap in casting Alan Ritchson as the towering, physically imposing lead. Ritchson's portrayal immediately resonated with fans, particularly those who had long felt that the previous film adaptation, starring Tom Cruise, failed to capture the physicality and intimidation factor of the character. Ritchson's Reacher is a mountain of a man who moves with purpose and thinks with precision. The first season of the show, which adapted Killing Floor, stayed true to the source material's gritty, no-frills tone, focusing on Reacher's quest to unravel a small-town conspiracy while avenging his brother's death. Throughout the series, Reacher operates as a lone force, often distrusting or distancing himself from others as he solves the mystery. The show delivered in terms of both action and character, giving viewers the brutal fight scenes they craved, while also exploring Reacher's inner complexities. The second season of Reacher expanded on this formula, but also introduced a few more layers to the character, particularly in terms of his relationships with others. While Reacher was still very much the same detached, driven figure, he was more willing to work alongside others, even if only temporarily. This slight shift led some to wonder if future seasons might explore a more collaborative Reacher, someone who allows others into his world. However, Lee Child's recent comments suggest that Season 3 will return to the core of what makes Jack Reacher tick. According to Child, Reacher's tendency to walk a solitary path will be central to the upcoming season, reaffirming his role as a wandering vigilante who prefers to rely on his own skills and instincts rather than trust others. This return to the essence of Reacher's character is sure to resonate with longtime fans who fell in love with the idea of a protagonist who is unapologetically independent and who follows a strict, often black and white sense of right and wrong. Why Reacher works best alone at its heart. Reacher's strength comes from his ability to operate outside the confines of normal society. He doesn't stay in one place long enough to form attachments, and this freedom allows him to remain unpredictable, always one step ahead of his enemies. Reacher's moral compass drives him to intervene in situations where justice is being ignored or subverted, but he doesn't stay to clean up the mess afterward. He moves on, leaving behind both the friends he's made and the enemies he's vanquished. This detachment from the world around him gives Reacher a unique power. He's not beholden to anyone or anything, which makes him incredibly dangerous to those who stand in his way. At the same time, Reacher's isolation is his greatest vulnerability. By choosing to remain alone, he cuts himself off from emotional connections that could offer him support or insight. He operates in a vacuum, trusting only himself, which can lead to moments of doubt or introspection, rare but telling moments that show Reacher's humanity beneath the stoic exterior. In Season 3, we can expect to see Reacher facing new challenges that push him to the limits of his physical and mental abilities. Without a team or partner to back him up, Reacher will have to rely entirely on his own resourcefulness, a prospect that promises to deliver some of the most intense action and suspense yet. The solitary Reacher is, in many ways, the purest version of the character stripped down to his essentials, unburdened by the complexities of relationships or societal obligations. Conclusion: a return to form as Lee Child and the Reacher showrunners prepare to take the character into his third season. The decision to focus on Reacher's lone wolf nature is both a bold and fitting move. Fans of the novels know that Reacher works best when he's on his own, navigating the dangerous world with nothing but his wits, strength, and sense of justice. While the second season allowed for some exploration of Reacher's relationships with others, the return to a more isolated protagonist in Season 3 feels like a return to form, a reminder of what